From its introduction more than 35 years ago as the 1200 CM, the Blitz Machine revolutionized the locksmith industry. Never before had it been so easy to cut keys by code. No more fumbling around with time-consuming depth keys. No more confusing micrometer measurements and complicated machine setup. The key to this revolution was translating the lock manufacturer's depth and space measurements to lines on a card. These lines designate the spaces and depths for each type of lock. Before the advent of HPC's code card system, to cut by code, you needed to know the distance from the shoulder to the first space on a standard Schlage key is 231 thousandths of an inch, and you needed to have a way to gauge that distance on your key machine. It was a time-consuming, error-prone method for cutting a new key. The Blitz Machine makes it very easy, and it is very versatile. It cuts most standard keys, including Schlage, Best, and Medico, to name a few, as well as many automotive and furniture keys. With the Blitz Machine, when you position the space needle on the line for the first space, the key is in the exact position to make the first cut. You do not need to know that it is 231 thousandths of an inch away from the shoulder on a standard Schlage key. When you position the depth needle on the number 4 depth, it will make an accurate cut to that precise depth, 275 thousandths of an inch for Schlage. Now let's cut a key. Select the appropriate code card for the key you are going to cut. Refer to the code card cross-reference on the HPC website or to HPC's code source software to determine the card needed. For easier key loading, position the carriage away from the cutter. Turn the depth knob, pulling the carriage away from the machine, and turn the space knob all the way to the left to give you ample room. Insert the code card under the lens, making certain it goes under the needles. For shoulder-gauged keys, such as Schlage or Quickset, loosen the wing nut, place the key blank against the back of the jaw, making certain it is straight in the jaw, gently push the key blank against the shoulder gauge, and hand tighten. Do not over-tighten the wing nut. For tip-gauged keys, such as Best, Ford, or GM, use the appropriate tip gauge and gently push the blank against the gauge and hand tighten the wing nut. With the carriage away from the cutter, turn on the machine, and then turn the space knob so that the needle is on the first space. To start cutting the first space, turn the depth knob to the proper depth. Back the carriage away from the cutter, dial to the second space, and then dial to the proper depth. Continue this process for each space on the key. After the cuts are completed, use the Softy deburring brush to clean the burrs from the key. To cut a different key, you often only need to change the code card. At most, you may have to flip the jaw over or change the cutter. No further adjustment or calibration is required. The Blitz Machine utilizes different cutters to create the most accurate angle and flat for different types of keys. Most large pin locks, such as Schlage and Quickset, use the CW14MC cutter. Most automotive and furniture keys will use the CW1011. Changing the cutters is a simple process. Switch the machine off, use the 1/2 inch open end wrench to hold the cutter shaft, and use the 3/4 inch cutter nut wrench to loosen the nut. Keep in mind that the shaft is reverse threaded. Turn it clockwise to loosen. Remove the nut and the cutter. Place the new cutter on the shaft with the arrows facing out. Replace the cutter and gently tighten. There is no need to use excessive force when tightening the nut. The reverse threading prevents the nut from loosening when the cutter is spinning. Some smaller keys, for example, some master padlock keys, are milled using the B-jaw. The code card indicates which jaw to use. To use the B-jaw, simply remove the Easy Grip wing nut and the washer set. Remove the top jaw, flip it over so the B is facing up, and replace it on the stud. Replace the washer set, flat, ball bearing flat, and the wing nut. The innovative design of the HPC Blitz Machine earned 3 U.S. patents. It became the best-selling code machine and the standard of the industry. After more than a quarter of a century, the HPC Blitz Machine has become an integral part of most every locksmith business worldwide. The Blitz Machine is available in 3 different models. Each comes with a different selection of accessories. For more information, go to www.hpcworld.com.